It's okay. Now
Okay.
you're unfrozen. Now you're
So
unfrozen.
where
You're thawing out.
where's what are these studies that you're quoting stuff from?
Studies, sorry.
Yeah. The science that you're taught when you're talking about your diet, you're quoting all these you're making all these statements, and I'm asking you where
I never
your
mentioned any. I never mentioned any studies.
You said something about cholesterol, and you said a
Yeah.
bunch of things, and they must be
Well-
from studies, right? If you're
No, I
saying
don't
that
really
they're true, they
follow
must
too
be
many
science
studies.
facts, right?
I mean, most of the studies that I don't really follow studies very
All right,
much.
if I'm breaking up, I'm going to switch
No,
to a
I hear
different
you.
internet and come back.
I hear you. Am I not hearing? Is everyone
Am I
else not
breaking up?
hearing him?
Yeah. Okay, so back
No,
to
you're
Martin.
fairly clear at this point.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
clear, bud.
Okay, well, you're not responding, so I was just wondering.
Well, he's a metard. You got to give him a few seconds to like think something up, man.
No, I'm speaking. Can you not hear me?
Can you not hear him?
Now I can, yeah, but that was just a second there. It didn't look like you were responding.
Well, what I was saying is I don't. Can you hear me?
You said you've researched both sides, so
Yes.
I'm wondering what research did you did? What meta studies you looked at where you came up with these?
I don't really
statements
look at
about
these
cholesterol
meta
and
studies
stuff?
because I don't really look at these meta studies or whatever you call them because
So
you can
don't-
create any
you don't
study you
believe in
want.
science.
No,
I
when
do
he
believe-
says studies, he's saying he sits around and just looks at shit, studies it, and then
Okay,
comes
yeah, I'm
up
not
with an
hearing these
answer,
guys.
right?
So let me
He's
switch
not.
my
Yeah.
internet.
All right. Yeah. Do that. Go ahead.
I've looked into several different things. One of the main ones is Dr. Weston A. Price. He
All right,
was
here
not
we
a
go.
doctor, he was a
That
dentist.
dude
Can
was
you
a
hear me?
Psycho, bro.
Oh yeah, you're back.
I'm back. This is different internet. Should be better.
Go ahead, sir. Horrible.
Who's supposed
Horrible
to go ahead?
connection.
He's frozen again.
You
I
need
don't know.
3.0. Keep cool.
Can you hear me,
You need
Paul?
3.0. You need another 3.0. He needs the new internet, the 3.0 that Klaus said that they're going to come out with. You got to switch over to that one.
So Western Price, he did a lot with the raw milk, right? And teeth.
Well, Weston Price, look, he was a dentist in the early 1900s, and he
Hey, Lou,
was.
did you get your 8G Wi-Fi suit yet? I don't know if it comes in 5X, but there's a new 8G 8G Wi-Fi suit. It's like a
Hey,
space
listen.
suit, and that will get you the proper connection on here.
Certain frequencies do not get through, lard. So I'm protected.
All right.
Okay.
Carry on.
Just so you know. I don't know what happened to Jeffrey, but if he can, he's coming. I guess he's coming back. Sorry, what were you saying, Tribe?
No, I was mentioning the Western Price. The familiar
Oh,
studies I know about him are dealing with raw milk and teeth.
Well, he dealt with many things, but his main study in the early 1900s, he was a dentist again, like I said.
Okay, I'm back.
And-
Hold on, stop.
Okay, I'm stopping.
So
I know you're going to bring up the China study, and you're going to bring up all these.
You don't know anything I'm going to
different-
bring up, lubeass.
Okay, go
So how
ahead,
about you
go
just
ahead.
Don't say anything and let me finish.
I
what
won't
I'm
say
saying.
anything.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
So you said you don't believe the meta studies. Let's start from there.
No, I didn't say that. I says I don't really follow too
absolutely
many
said,
studies.
I don't believe meta studies.
No, I said I don't follow too many of these studies. I have seen some studies.
Which
and,
ones have you
know,
seen?
Discovery
but I don't
Channel.
follow them like their religion because studies can
Which
be wrong.
ones do you get your facts from that you keep repeating on this panel?
Okay, give me a fact and I'll see if I can remember where I got it.
That humans need cholesterol from other animals or some garbage like that. Where did you get that information?
Dr.
Okay.
Oz.
Again,
Joe
it's
Rogan?
based.
I bet there's some
Okay.
dietitian classes before. I know a little
Oh,
bit
here
about
we go.
nutrition. You do
Harlow,
need cholesterol.
Give me a minute, Carlo.
A little bit. Too much bad
Got
cholesterol is
that
bad for
from
your heart.
Eddie Bravo.
Eggs. Don't eat too many eggs, man. It's too much cholesterol for your heart. You'll have a heart attack too fast.
All right. Please, Lou, that's not helping. That's definitely not helping.
Okay.
You know, see, like this is the thing. See, Lou's the kid, right? Okay, I just realized. Lou's the kid he's in the class and he has potential to be a good student. The problem is when you bring Harlow in, he's the guy who's easily led, right? He's so easily led, he destroys his own GPA and his career schooling because he wants to be funny with Harlow. He wants to be a clown. So then I go, Lou, you realize how good of a student you are normally when Harlow cuts class, but when he shows up 3 times a week, you go to acting like a clown and I don't respect you anymore, right? So please, let's focus on the material. Try to, you know what? I'm going to put you in the corner over here.
Nope.
So you don't talk to Jack Harlow. No matter like how these two. No, we have to embarrass Lou in front of the whole class, and then we have to put Jack Harlow on one side and Lou on the other side. Then you'll go to making eyes at each other and writing notes and giggling.
Give me this
I'm the substitute teacher. That
they used to give me the strap. No, put me in a room. They'd fucking slap my hands with a fucking.
No, I know. I was that jerk off. I was the jerk off who would constantly incite everyone, right? They'd say every time someone does good, but Paul's here not cutting class, yous all go to acting like clowns to try to impress him and laugh with him, right? And then they try to put me in the back away from everyone. So then I start moving the desk. When they turn around, I start scraping the desk, and then they turn around. What is that, right? You know, it's just a big circus here with lubeass, the class clown.
Okay, I'm not
in class.
Spitting spitballs. Spit wads.
Yeah, that's why we're all here, because we're all the outcasts, misfits, rebels, and recluse.
Yeah, I'm skateboarding in the classroom. I'm the substitute, but I jump on my skateboard to skateboard for all the kids. Like, oh, I'm cool, substitute teacher, man.
Lou's making up for all those days he skipped school, right?
We're doing our
Stop looking over, Lou. Lou, stop looking over at Jack Harlow. I put you on the opposite side of the room for a reason. You can't interact anymore now.
Raw facts that the news cannot say. Raw facts that the news cannot say because they're under contract. They cannot say this shit because they're under contract. They will lose their jobs at the news, wherever the fuck they work. Even other YouTubers can't say some of this shit. I'm my own man. I was in the service.
Okay. So, where do you get that information from? You said yesterday to I don't know what the guy's name, but you told the guy yesterday you've studied both sides of the argument, and so I'm pressing you on that subject. You said you've studied this stuff thoroughly. Oh, I can't hear him.
You literally interrupted him when he was referencing.
Now, see, okay, now this is another dynamic we have back to middle school, high school. We have another dynamic, which is we started class an hour and a half ago, and somehow the 3 idiots showed up together because they were smoking pot in the field, and they just decided to come to class an hour and a half in. So notice how Lou strolls in, then like somehow a few minutes later Harlow strolls in, and then Thomas strolls in because they're the pothead misfits who want to come in, interrupt everything, and now hold court and be class clowns. We're right back to high school, folks. And then everyone who's been here an hour and a half goes, oh, here comes the 3 idiots, you know, stinking up the place, acting like fools, coming in, laughing and giggling. They can't even focus anymore. Go ahead, Thomas, please. Don't let me interrupt.
No, Moose. I'm not Moose. I'm sorry. Lou and Tribe were talking about Weston Price, who I'm familiar with, who literally is one of the proponents of cholesterol. And then fucking whatever Wayne's World fucking head over here wants to jump in and immediately cut him off and grill him on a question where if he just shut the fuck up when he came in, he would know.
Wait, you don't know anything about cholesterol, though.
Yeah. You just said cholesterol. So lubeass.
Yes, sir.
What studies have you researched, and what are the citations? What are your citations with?
Okay, again, I'm not gonna pump out any studies and all this shit.
Why not?
There's because I have experience in terms of
keep repeating the
my
same
own.
thing on this
I'm gonna
panel
give
over
you.
and over and over again.
I'm going to give you some of the things that I can reference to you. One of them is Weston A. Price. Look into. I was trying to tell you what he did.
That dude is has been laughed at by science for like 60 years, bro. You're insane.
I agree with you that mainstream medicine hates Weston A. Price.
cuts you like a balloon, like one of those. Remember those things that have air that go through them? And they do this, and that's science. Science laughing at.
No. He did some very in-depth studies.
Oh man, science is laughing at you.
Sorry. Look at myself.
We could just say Lou's an idiot. Like, why do we have to go to what science thinks about someone Lou thinks about?
Well, the reason why I like Weston A. Price's work is because it was extremely.
With you. He agrees
with you.
It
agrees with your bullshit agenda. You guys all worship this guy. Like,
I don't worship anybody, but
somebody.
I don't worship anybody, but I looked at some of the things that he came up with. And they made a lot of sense.
I'm really partial to David Koresh because I as well hope to have a mansion compound one day full of women bearing my children. So I'm a bit partial to
conversation. What's that got to do with the conversation? I'm
just saying, you just pick some guy out of a hat that basically aligns completely with your life and lifestyle, and you've never challenged that boundary.
No, he's not the only one. He's not the only one.
City.
There are other doctors, but right now I can't remember their names. But
about his work, but
how could you not remember anyone that you've learned anything?
I went through this over almost 10 years ago now. There's so much shit I've completely forgotten about when it comes to this subject. So, but I know the facts because I actually. Well, I can tell you that I've been on both sides of the fence. And even still to this day, the other day, Paul got mad at me.
Lou, just because you've been a herder of cows and the cow yourself doesn't mean that you can speak on both sides of the fence about killing life versus eating living plants and everything else. That has nothing to do with it.
I've done both. And
I know you've been the cow
done both.
on one side of the fence, and you've been
I learned how to pay attention to my body. And I'm not saying that I always listen.
Telling you something really bad is happening right now.
Yeah, you're extremely overweight. Your body is screaming. I'm dying. I'm dying.
I'm not that overweight. I'm not that overweight.
Yeah, you are.
I could lose about 30 pounds. Yes. I could lose 30 pounds. I agree. I won't deny that I could lose 30 pounds. But it's not that bad.
Lou,
not 30, bro.
Lou.
And most of it is because of fucking my addiction to carbohydrates.
No,
because I fall off the wagon and bang, my weight goes back.
Talking to my
Lou. You believe
Lou looks like he likes McDonald's. You look like you are.
I don't eat that shit.
Hang out and smoke name? Liver King. You're like, you listen to Liver King over science.
I don't even know. I didn't even know who Liver King was until recently.
You know who he is, and you're
until
just like
recently,
him,
someone said
you don't take steroids. Your skin is purple.
No. I did not know who he was until recently. There was this big controversy, and this guy's all over the fucking news.
You're like that man who took too much colloidal silver. You're changing colors like some kind of lizard. You're turning blue and purple from all the adrenochrome you're sucking down, and it's not going well. All right,
Lou, do you know what heme iron is? You guys, you carnivores always talk about heme iron. Heme iron.
Heme iron.
Heme iron.
Team iron.
Heme.
Heme iron.
Heme-iron. Heme iron.
Heme iron. Okay. What is it?
You don't know what heme iron is?
Not at this moment. I may have at one time, but I don't remember now. What is heme iron? Out of blood, out of liver?
Know what heme iron is?
Just shut the fuck up.
Heme iron is the iron you get from eating meat inside
heme iron.
Beef. Yes. And heme iron. If you put heme iron into your diet, your mortality rate goes up 30%. This is meta study. A study of hundreds of studies over 100 years has said this.
And what's the study called? What's the study called?
I can pull it up if you want. I could have Ali pull it up. Can you pull it
up?
I'll
go check it out.
And how does this motherfucker, if it isn't a man...
I know for sure that there are 15 nutrients that you cannot absorb through plants. Humans cannot absorb 15 nutrients through plants. The main one is B12.
Rich does not mean it's
the main one is B12, but then there's creatine, carnosine, B6, K2. There's 15 nutrients you can't get.
Lubus.
Yes, Lubus. Yes, Pablo.
Just because something is nutrient dense does not mean it's nutritious for humans. That's something that
it's not about the nutrition. It's about how we're able to absorb it or not.
How yeah. Exactly.
So
yes.
So maybe we need to look more into like processing these plants and herbs down into essential oils. Maybe we need to look at extracting different of. Hold on, Lubis.
Go ahead.
Extracting
but I want to say something.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, go.
Extracting different kind of saps and nutrient, mineral-rich products, and it's called supplementation. I know that you think you have to go to Walmart and buy some kind of powder off the shelf in order to sustain a life without fucking being a metard. But in all actuality, there's like lots of things out there that contain all of the essential minerals and nutrients that we need to coexist. And it doesn't require genocide and slavery, oddly enough. I know
that's
this
part
is hard
of why. That's part of why I like Weston A. Price, because Weston A. Price, what his study was like. I tried to get out many times, and nobody seems to be interested in hearing it. He was a dentist. He was not a doctor.
Absolutely not interested in hearing it.
Yeah, me either.
Where's Weston A. Price now?
Carnivores before, dude. It's really boring. Do you know what?
Where is he now?
Yeah,
he's with God, I'd imagine. This was 100 years ago. He did these studies.
Lubeass. Do you know what PITS is?
No.
There's PTSD and there's
This is
also
for you, Doug.
PITS. It's perpetration.
PITS.
PITS.
He knows the terms
the Heme study is. Let me go back to the Heme study. I'm going to give you the link so you can look up the Heme study. It's on PubMed. It's a meta-analysis called "Is Heme Iron Intake Associated with Risk of Coronary Heart Disease?" A meta-analysis of
Hold on, I want to write these down because I want to go.
Listen, Lou, that's what Paul's saying here, because I think it's.
I want to go look at them, please. Can you say it again?
Perpetration-induced traumatic syndrome is the syndrome that the mental illness that people get in the military from killing other people.
Right.
And causes all these awful, just basically turns someone mentally ill and turns them into a criminal. But
perpetration-induced syndrome. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get it.
You're fucking crazy because you kill animals.
Military,
fucking taking 1,000 years to say it.
The military, people in the military get this. Next down is people working in factory farms.
I could see that. I could see that.
Why would factory farm workers be have this higher level of suicide and depression?
Yes,
and,
yes. You're right about that.
Violence, just like cops, it's the same thing. So
you are absolutely right.
So why would if they're so naturally supposed to be eating meat, then why?
No, that's not it.
Just because you have a couple goats doesn't.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's because we're not naturally supposed to be sitting on a line where live beings are being hung on hooks alive, and then we just cut their throats like they're just another piece of meat rolling down the line. That's what we're not supposed to be doing.
It's important to do it humanely.
Yes, that's right.
Why would it ever in a million years give
I'll show you, if you want to see some videos, Paul, I'll show you some videos of animals literally giving themselves. Literally. And I especially respect the way the Muslims do it.
Like a slave.
The Muslims have the most...
Slave gives Muslims like this.
It's all the same. Who cares?
Yes, they do. They literally do.
I can't wait to see you and all the other slaves give your neck like the animal does to your masters. Right, just literally gives itself. Oh yeah, take me, daddy. Oh, take my life force. Yeah, I know. I know how weak, pathetic, codependent sheep slave acts, and you take that as a sign of, well, it must want its throat cut.
No being wants to die.
Is Brian O'Shea considered this material?
I'm a narcissistic piece of shit. So when someone who's weak and vulnerable presents themselves, I of course take advantage of that. Why wouldn't I?
Okay.
Lubeass, you're using Orwellian doublespeak, bro. Like, are you against the government? Like,
yes,
it's crazy. Are you?
Yes.
Then how do you eat a diet that is so subsidized by the government?
I don't eat animals from factory farms. I do not buy animal meat or anything like that from the stores. None of it. That's why I don't agree with it. Like what?
I asked you to show me pictures of your animals. You had 2 goats and
I've shown pictures. I only have 3
of killing all these animals and
Lubeass,
eating
Listen,
them every
I
day.
only have
Johnny,
3 cows right now.
Nick,
I only have 3 cows right now. 2 are
Steve,
female, 1 is a male. So in the spring, I'll have 2 cats.
Lubeass.
Upside down flag
I don't
guy.
care. You have the same story every other carnivore.
Who
the fuck is talking in the background?
It's Thomas, because no one gives a fuck about what the fuck you're saying. Someone had a great question in chat earlier. Why are you here, Josh? Not Josh. I know this is Josh. John.
Who's talking?
Thomas is talking.
Thomas, in all fairness, Thomas, no one gives a fuck about what you have to say either.
Oh, is that Thomas
again? I know, but I'm asking a question for someone else. This isn't what I care
You aren't
about.
even in this
I feel like I have
dude.
a great idea why Jeffy Boy is here. But someone asked,
who's Jesse
from your
Boy?
Perspective,
why do you keep using these names that are like what are you doing, Thomas? Are you off your medication early in the morning again?
If you
you're like, this guy's name is Jeffrey. You keep Jesse, John.
Hey, Upside Down America guy, listen, if you want to know some of the studies, I can give you a place to go.
By the way, next to him.
All this,
Annie.
No studies.
Why are you here?
You say.
If you want to know, because I really don't remember some of the stuff I've read. I really don't remember. There's so much, but it's been
Berkeley study.
It's been a long time.
Analysis that looked at hundreds of studies about vegans and found that there's a 12% less mortality rate of all diseases across the board.
My name is
people
Earl.
on a plant-based diet.
Oh, that's such dangerous information, my brother.
Oh yeah, is it really? It's not as dangerous as you.
That is seriously dangerous information. What you're plugging right now is dangerous information. And your girl's bones are going to get weaker and weaker. And the more she falls, the more she's going to break if she doesn't get some animal food into her.
You're obese, dude.
Well, I might be obese.
You're overweight. And you say your diet is better than ours. And we're endurance athletes, bro.
Hey, Luke, you turn on your mic a little bit. Your mic's too loud. We can't hear Jeff.
Mine's too loud?
She got 4th place in the last cycling race she was in. Like, she rides like 130 miles, 200 miles a week sometimes. What the fuck have you done,
well,
dude?
you know what? The person who got first place eats chicken rectum. So that's proof. Yes, Thomas, go ahead, everyone. Just talk over me. It's not like this is my broadcast.
I love you. There's a lag.
No, you don't. You hate me. You hate yourself. You hate your life, and you come here to destroy what's mine. It's all subconscious, though. You're not aware of it. Go ahead. I don't take it personal. It happens often. Continue, please.
It's your time.
Fuck, go. The carnivore diet.
Thomas, he just told you to go, and you shut up. What's wrong with you?
150 years of data says that a plant-based diet is a better diet than eating whatever the hell you're doing.
Are children vegan?
Standard American diet, huh?
Are children vegan?
Yeah. I mean, after they get off the mother's milk, they are.
So you tell me, hold on.
You're such a fuck
You're
nut,
telling
Lou.
me that after a child gets off its mother's milk, it can live healthy without any animal products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are dangerous. For saying these things. Dangerous. Look up vegan children dying and parents going to jail for it. Look it up.
Dude, my kid grew up bigger than me, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look it up. Because what you're spreading is bad information that is dangerous. And the only reason you're able to be an athlete today is because your parents pumped enough animal nutrients into you when you were young that now your body can sustain a certain amount of time without it.
I did McDougal my whole life until I went vegan. And
but a vegan's child is not going to have that, and they're going to break down so young.
For 2 years, I've done
the formula that
you
feed babies is derived from cow milk.
Sorry.
The thing is Lou just said it. Jeffrey right now is running, and Allie are running off of fumes from the McDonald's they used to eat. That is what is sustaining them right now, because they spent most of their formative years consuming meat and the byproducts, and now they're pretty much just fueled and running off of the fumes of the aforementioned diet. So another good point there, Lou.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I just
feel
very afraid because I'm
bullshit facts on this panel over and over again. Everyone's super sick about it, but you do it in this condescending way. And it's like all this behavior you have, it starts
Lou
with
is
the
not
fucking rotting
condescending
animals in
ever,
your stomach, bro.
except for with his daughter.
And like your opinion that you're allowed to dominate and use violence against animals, and that's why you're stuck in the pickle you're in, and that's why your son comes on here and talks shit. You know, it's like, dude, it all starts with this like idea you have, this aggressive, violent idea that you have in your head that you're allowed to just eat all these animals and kill all these animals. It's domination, dude. It's the epitome of the state. You trying to say eating vegetables is like some sort of new world order diet, like you're on the most subsidized diet, like the government pays for like 80% of the meat you eat. And don't tell me you raise all your meat on your farm, because you don't. That's what all you guys say. I asked you to prove it, and you showed me a picture of some goats. Like,
but if he eats raccoon, you can't buy that at a grocery store. Just
yeah,
saying.
the dude eats roadkill. Yeah, literally eats roadkill. You know,
But
and
Art,
I'm gonna like
so
have
I was
a
leaving a
debate
park
over
and my buddy
whether or
hit a
not he's
deer,
gonna get
and a
scurvy
fucking
or not.
Mexican
Like we're
family
back in the
stopped
1800s
literally
talking about like
immediately to
weird
grab
health
that deer.
stuff.
Can I say you're partly correct
This
about what you
he'll
said
be on
about
here.
the
He'll be
government?
on here. This wet leprosy that I have was caused by the plants that the roadkill ate. It wasn't directly from the meat. He'll be sores all over him, dripping.
Right, exactly.
Dripping
I just want to
gravy.
say, you're partially correct about what you said about the government paying for a percentage of your meat. You're partially correct about that because meat is not profitable for the corporations that run this world. They cannot make a profit on meat because they have to subsidize it. But plants, they can make up to 95% profit off of plants.
You really are an idiot.
Can't make
you really are an idiot.
Why
everything you say is patently false.
No, it's not.
Why can you not make a profit on meat? Why does it have to be subsidized?
You can, but it's much lower.
Why does the government
much lower than with plants?
Sense, Lou.
Sorry,
I mean, come on, really?
I deal with the Amish.
Why is the government subsidizing
they deal in a lot of meat?
Because they subsidize meat because you cannot make a good profit on it, and the corporations that run this, they're all the same companies.
Huge amount of food, huge amount of water, huge amount of labor for a very little return. Correct?
Pull on some titties for a few minutes.
I'm having a hard time because too many people are talking at once.
Raising animals costs a lot, right?
Yes, unless you do it sustainably. Unless you do it, there are ways to do it much cheaper.
Time, a lot of water,
and save the earth.
Makes it completely financially insane to raise animals to kill them. It makes no sense. That's why they subsidize it.
Can I respond?
Just like you have, and it was insanely expensive to keep those animals healthy, and it made no sense to just kill the animal and eat it afterwards. Financially, therefore, the government has to pay for most of this meat and this feed and this labor to be done so you can eat as much meat you have. And one of my biggest pet peeves in the world are truthers that double down and do the carnivore diet when they claim that they're anti-subsidy, but they're eating the most subsidized thing. And you're going to say, oh, vegetables are subsidized too, but it's not even.
No, I'm not saying vegetables are subsidized.
Own the meat packing facilities.
There's more profit in vegetables.
They own the TV. Like, you're a product. You're a perfect little slave for them. You're going to end up in the hospital. Your kids are going to have to pay for your ass to be in the hospital for the last 5 years of your life. Like, yeah, dude, that's what they want. That's how they steal people's estates and their property from them when they die. They get them.
Okay, can I respond
to the hospitals and the banks and all these people? And it's all because you know, people like you telling people that it's good to eat this way and that we should eat more meat. We should eat more subsidized meat, which is just absolutely batshit. If you're anti-government,
I don't say people should eat more subsidized meat.
Bro,
I don't agree with the subsidized meat.
You're
well, if you're not going to let me respond to you, then you're just going to go on having a conversation with yourself.
You proved
You
had
can
a
have a
couple goats and
conversation with
couple
yourself.
cows. That's not you.
Are you on Adderall?
in the process of eating all this meat.
Jeffrey,
he's on
Thomas
vegan.
wants to know: Are you on Adderall?
That I actually
He's
care
on
about and have
veganism.
conviction about. I don't.
He's
take
hooked on veganism.
Adderall. I don't even drink coffee, bro.
But I didn't ask if you drink.
He's
coffee.
hopped up on the new
Adderall
Piz
or
formula.
Ritalin,
That new Piz is
modafinil?
really.
Do you take any
Is Thomas in the
fucking
back talking
prescription
still?
drugs?
Yeah, he just it's a mess here at this point.
Okay, can I respond to Jeffrey for a second?
You
can I
can't respond. No.
I've been waiting.
Why not? He's
Oh,
been talking for an
man.
hour and he won't let me respond.
Because you're gonna go to talk, he's gonna cut you off, and then he's gonna go on again about you being a metard. And we're not going to get away from this because you're both going to defend where you're at. And again, the reality is Lou, you're not going to look and concede to the truth of certain facts of the matter. You're not, because I've done this loop with you before. I've looped with all of you before many times, and I know where your loop gets off, right? Or I know where I get off of the loop. It's like a merry-go-round, and I eventually just get off because I'm not going to ride in circles with you about Secatropes and Wilford Watson and all the rest of it. I don't care. It's very simple. I want to live my life causing as least amount of harm as possible. But
you're not, Paul. You're not. The vegan diet kills much more.
I'm not going to loop with you about field farming.
I know.
And killing all the bugs and insects. I'm not going to do it with you.
Well, it's not just bugs and insects.
I'm not going to do it with you. I'm not going to loop about how it's preferable to split animals' throat daily than to clear a whole field to grow plants and vegetables. I'm not
clear a whole field of all life.
I'm not going to do it with you about the ticks and the mosquitoes and the insects and all the.
I don't want to. I don't want
to do it. Fuck not.
Okay, fuck it.
And seed crops go to feeding cattle. Your little vegan diet kills more animals than anything is completely
but
bullshit.
Did you know that all formulas
waste products
going towards your cows?
Waste products from seeds. Waste product from seeds.
There you go. No, this is it right here. This is it right here. Let's just end it right here.
Yeah, let's end
it right here. Everything like this person says is here for us. This is the unbound ego, right? And then, like I told you, when Joe Biden sees your child somewhere, it's here for him. Okay? If I see your girlfriend out and about in a dark alley, maybe she's wearing a skirt that's a little bit too high.
That's my son.
She's here for me. I control, dominate, and take whatever I want because everything's here for me. Right? That's how I live, just like this person in chat. And there shouldn't be any problems with the behavior when it extends over into other areas other than consuming folks, right? These beings don't have a right to their bodily security, so Joe Biden can sniff your nephew and niece and rub their shoulders. Shouldn't be a problem. And I should be able to, take any other being connected to you's bodily security to whatever level that I see fit, because it's all here for me, right? No, that just stops in one place, right? It's just confined to one little area in life somehow, in the ego game, in the cycle of nonsense. He's writing something down now. He's journaling.
That's always good to journal.
December 26, 2022. I tried to give him the Secatrope rap and the Wilson Watson rap. It didn't go over well. This is the 6th month that we've been cycling on this, and I pray for resolution. Signed, lubeass.
It's this cult of Joe Rogan groupthink doublespeak these guys use. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
Well, what I don't like is that you probably either have taken very often or do take prescription drugs, which is way more aligned with the fucking bullshit of the universe.
You're making
literal
dark, bro. You don't know shit about me.
Meat eating. Like,
I've been unvaccinated
you and I
since birth.
And
I don't
Lou
take
probably
shit.
Shouldn't eat meat. Nothing wrong with an Eskimo eating meat, in my opinion. But anyway,
Eskimos don't live past 50, bro. Why would you want to eat like them?
Fuck.
I thought Thomas was vegan. Isn't Thomas vegan? Why is he always arguing with me when I talk about vegan stuff?
No,
if he's vegan.
I'm like a shitty vegetarian that eats meat whenever it's presented to me when I go out with family because, like a Buddhist, I'm
you're one of those
accepting
people.
what is given. Yeah,
a freegan. I'm vegan until unless it's something free, then I'll eat it.
You know, yeah, I have a similar way of living. I don't do heroin anymore unless I'm out with my buddies, like the old buddies from the old town. And, you know, once in a while they'll pass the spoon and needle around. I say, hey, you know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. I'm like a Buddhist. I'm just kind of accepting of what's put forth. Have at it.
Well, don't get me into
the bizarre logic. It's a bizarre logic.
It's not a bizarre logic. It's acceptance. It's
double speak.
A very simple logic.
It's called weakness and lack of discipline.
Okay. If your values were mine, I would accept that. But
I didn't say there had to be weakness and lack of discipline for you. I'm saying if I don't do this every other day, why the fuck would I do it? It's like saying, hey, it's girls' night out. We're going to fucking lie about it and come home and say, love you, babe. Because I was out with my friends and, you know, I'm a Buddhist. So whatever's put forth, I accept. No, it's lack of will and discipline, and you're not authentic to the way you live. Because why would you need to change it because someone else is around doing other stuff?
I'm not changing shit. It's called acceptance.
Acceptance of behavior that's incorrect? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't believe it's
Bye, guys.
I could give a fuck.
Bye, Joshua.
Bye, Josh.
Keep going,
I think
Thomas.
Jeff is
I want to hear more from
with all the
Thomas.
Adderall he takes. While I don't agree with Adderall, I could give a fuck less. That's all.
So you got
and
nothing.
If he was like, man, come over to
but
my
an
house.
assumption
I'm gonna drop
that I do drugs.
10 pills of Adderall. I'll give you one pill. I'll be like, I'll take a quarter of a pill.
Fucking Jesse's over there pounding Adderall. He's all hopped up. Thomas, what's your deal, man?
He's boisterous, that's all.
Because I mean, I'd love to like get on Jeffrey. I mean, I've done it before, but you know, what exactly is like your deal today here right now? Because I want to understand it. I'm not going to defend him either. I'm just saying, like, where's the controversy?
I see him as inauthentic. I see him as someone who is competing with O'Shea, which is already a red flag. And then you're competing with Lou, which is already a red flag. And here I am competing with you, which is the reddest of flags. But it doesn't change the fact that I try to not compete with anybody. I'm just trying to bring out what I see in the chat, which is what the fuck is up with you, Jeff?
Okay, so now they're calling you all, this is the new terminology, bun boys. I guess this is a reference to the hair, and they're referencing soy.
Yeah, they're doing ad hominem attack because they don't have anything else better to do than make fun of what I look like.
The bun boys, no, they're including Thomas, though. See, this is what's funny. They're including Thomas now, and he's like arguing with you, but then they're insulting you and him. And you know, they're saying the bun boys are passionate about soy. And I guess I'm included in that, right? Because even though I don't have a man bun, I will argue for the voiceless and defenseless and doing as least amount of harm as possible because I tried out the lifestyle and I'm not healthy by any means in the sense of eating what I should all the time. But I'm here to testify that I'm still alive and able to speak. So it's been a few years, at least 2-3 years. So I'm waiting for the catastrophic combustion or malfunction or failure of my system. It's not happening. So why can't we just settle on that? That you all have beliefs, and yet if we try to do as least harm as possible and eat meat little, if at all, and then try to do without it, slowly transition to do without it and see what happens, and then, try to work through it and solve the problems and see how to make it right for you. But again, I don't see why we can't just settle on the fact that you don't have a right to indiscriminately do whatever you want to do without consequences. And if you think you do, then someone's going to show you what it's like and you're going to cry and complain. So that's hypocrisy. You can't substantiate to me where you believe the definition of the differentiation of life comes in. You can't, other than pointing to a book and your fucking ego. Everything's here for me, the Bible says. I don't give a fuck about that. I have my own conscience. I don't need to be a follower. I can observe as a child again, like how we were when we were young, when the sick adults say, come up and cut this animal's head off, and the child recoils and runs off because it wants nothing to do with that. So you have to become like a child again to enter the kingdom of heaven. I want nothing to do with that. I would rather cut a person's throat for being a low-life scum than kill a defenseless, innocent animal who like walks up to me and wants to be petted and licks me. You know, human scum lie and cheat and steal and are irredeemable. But, you know, the rabbit or whatever, like walks up, it's fluffy, it licks you, it wants to be petted, and you want to destroy its soul and its life, right? And its family. Well, I don't appreciate that. So that's why I say, ironically, I align more with Billy sometimes than a lot of the regular folks. You want to destroy folks who are defenseless and harmless and innocent. I say spray the skies to rid this realm of a bunch of selfish, narcissistic, harmful, detrimental, deleterious human scum who have no empathy and can't get out of their own way and their own ego, right? That's why I have so much ability to empathize with everyone thinks is the enemy, because I see the fault in the everyday man and woman that we try to ignore and then play the victim and blame everyone else for how we got where we are.
The Disney is strong in this one.
That's fine.
And then they wonder why we're caught in this system.
That's fine.
You know,
could say the Disney is strong in this one. If you're talking about me, I'm out in the street, boy, while you're hiding in the room, scared of what they may do to you. I've been through it and continue to show up to go through it. You haven't even done it yet because you're scared of what they may do to you. So that Disney story I'm writing in my fucking mind and heart's working for me one way or the other. You know, your ego trip where you're like false strength, I'm the man, ain't working for you, because when it comes time to step up and bang, you ain't there. So you could bang on rabbits and cows, but you can't bang on policy enforcement. You won't even step up and talk to them. Let's just keep it all the way real. So again, much like a predator consciousness, you'll fucking fight with folks when you know you can win or think it's going to be a fair fight. You don't show up at the flagpole when 5 guys called you out. See, I show up when I know I'm going to lose. I say, you want me to be there? I'm going to show up, but I'm going to show up with an equalizer, right? And then we're going to watch everybody go to, we didn't know that was going to happen. Well, that's what you wanted, right? You said 5 of you are going to do something to me, so now I'm going to equalize. And then you thought it was going to go one way, now it goes the other way. You don't show up. Most folks don't show up for those events where they know they're going to lose. But they bring out an equalizer and say, well, let's roll the dice and have at it, right? That's weakness, that's cowardice, that's predatory behavior. If you folks showed up to fight policy enforcement and then went to killing rabbits and cows, I might have a little respect for you. But you don't. You kill defenseless animals who depend on you to care for them, but you don't even show up to do battle with motherfuckers who are taking your rights, your women and children. I got no respect for that.
I agree with you on that, fighting that I agree with you. I mean, I'm always ready and I'm willing, and now that I understand more about it, I'm willing to go forward into standing up more strongly for it. I mean, I came up actually earlier not to talk about fucking meat, but I wanted to share a story about policy enforcers that just to show how corrupt the system is. Now, I'm not saying I did anything good or great because I used the system against itself, and they.
Hey, Lou, let me just jump in for a second. Hold that thought. That goes for that slave down there too in the chat, and everyone like him. You don't fucking stand up for anything. Your fucking opinion don't matter to me. You call me whatever you want. I'm whatever you want me to be, but you have to then own that position, right? All the negative things, I'm what you say, fine. Then all the things I do, you don't do because you're a punk fucking coward. So there's that. We could put that to rest. It's easy to type in chat. It's hard to go past your fear and rise to the occasion and solve the problems, right? And challenge yourself and others. You won't do that. You'll just sit in the chat and fucking type. Go ahead, Mr. Lubeass.
So
no,
hold on,
just,
Lou. So when the shit gets tough, you just change the subject, huh?
Pretty much. Subject.
You're
well, Paul said he wanted to get off of it, so I don't want to.
All right, never mind.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, we can move on from it. Like Jeffrey, you're not going to get anywhere. We know what you think. We know what I think. We know what Lou thinks, and he's not going to change it. He's not going to probably change it here today. He's decided that it works for him, and he's not willing to change. So all we're doing is like beating our head against the wall, headbutting each other, and it's not going.
I'm not willing to change that. That's all.
Okay.
Many other things, yes, but that I'm not willing to change.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do
that. I won't do that.
That's why your new name. See, your new name is new name. Please, Thomas, is Lou Meatloaf. All right. You would do anything for rights and freedoms in your life, but you won't do that. So your new name is Meatloaf because you look like one and you're constantly eating it.
Don't forget that government ketchup on top.
So anyways, the story I wanted to share with you guys, because when Tribe was talking about the system and how it's, it's got him on a camera and he's not in the same room, just reminded me of a situation that I had many years ago. I don't know how many years it's been now, when they brought in the into Canada that you needed a license to have a gun, where you had to have a basically government permission, like a driver's license. You had to have a license for a gun.
Yep,
and yeah, and they put in, once they put this law in place, they put into it an amnesty. And I had not quite received my license yet, and I went out hunting. And at the same time, I was not aware that I had a suspended license, some fines I didn't pay or something, so they had suspended my license. And so they brought me into this courtroom. First, they stopped me and they they stopped me and they let me go. And then they found me again and took my guns and took my license, took my truck, all that shit.
Yep. Treated you just like them animals, boy. Get over here, slave.
And so I show up in court. I went to pay for my truck, got it out, blah, 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 and all of that. And I found this amnesty, right? And when I went to court, it was like in a fucking gymnasium, and there had to be like 100 people there, all for the same thing, guns. And I was talking to some of the people there, and they were saying, yeah, they took my Benelli that was worth fucking $5 grand.
Yep, go on.
And so I go in I had this amnesty thing. And I was the second person up to the judge. I was literally the second person up. The first person ahead of me was this young kid, 16 years old or something like that. And he was hunting with his grandfather's army rifle that he had in the war.
How do you know that he was hunting with his grandfather? How do you know that, Lube? Did he tell you that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He did tell you that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where were you at again?
In a courtroom, sir.
Where
at? School, sir.
This is what it's like dealing with a cop.
Sundridge, sir.
You were saying a Canadian law, though. You went off to a Canadian law.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Please, sir. Forgive me, sir. What can I do for you, sir?
Wrap that shit up, man. Your story's boring, homie. I told you that
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Then wrap that shit up. That's what it means.
Wrap
Stop saying
it up,
sorry.
weather boy.
Weak. Wrap it up.
Sorry, sir. Can I continue,
sir? Weakness. Okay, you're sorry. I don't care. Hurry up.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. Can I continue, sir?
I love the salute.
I already told you to hurry the fuck up. You don't want me to tell you again? Hurry the fuck up, Lube, and finish your story.
Wrap it up with this fucking
You're boring
guy.
You're not entertaining.
You're boring all of us, man. You're boring.
How can I bore Jack Harlow without tell my story at the same time?
Blah, blah, blah.
You walked out of court with paper. Who cares?
Someone took my ride.
Yeah, it's a paperwork that's showing that they took your rights from you. Who cares about that, bud?
No one. Sorry, sir.
Anything.
Sir, yes, sir.
Call him Weather Boy, Harlow. I like that shit. That's your new
thing. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Yes, sir.
You're
sir.
Not telling us anything we don't already know. I could just
please, sir. Forgive me, sir.
Put in a couple information in that story. It'd be your exact same story.
May I shine your boots, sir? May I shine your boots, please, sir?
Yeah, shine my boots.
Okay,
yes, sir.
I have
like Chicago. Well, this guy got down and shined my boots while I was walking through it. And I was like, he got me for $10. It was a good shine, too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Your boy, I got my shoes shined.
Hold on, Larry.
Okay, Paul, you gonna let me finish or what?
You came out of nowhere and just shined my boots out of nowhere.
All right, there we go. All right, Larry.
Yeah, I have a story I'd like to share. Back when I was probably in my mid-20s, so that'd be like late 70s, we lived in the U District in Seattle. And we had a bunch of skinheads that were partying next door, and there was about 50 of them out in the middle of the street partying. And all of a sudden, one of those skinheads threw a rock into my kid's room, and it landed in their crib. It didn't hit them, but for me that was enough. So I went out there with this little billy club that was about 6 inches long, went right in the middle of all these skinheads and started swinging it around and saying, "All right, you motherfuckers, which one of you goddamn assholes, you know, fucking threw a rock in my goddamn fucking window?" And all these people are looking at me like, "What the fuck's this guy's problem?" And then finally, the biggest motherfucker came to me. This guy must have been 6'9", 200 or 800. I don't know. He was big, but 320 pounds. Anyway, he comes up to me and he goes, "What's your fucking problem, dude?" And I said, "Somebody threw a rock in my fucking kid's window." And they're all like, "Oh, I guess you have a right to be a little fucking irate." And that's just showing, you know, that you can. There's a time when you have to stand on your ground and show people who you are.
So basically telling us skinheads and Nazis more reasonable than the average policy enforcement. All right.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, you know. I've had myself in a lot of situations where people just kind of looked at me like, "This guy's got to be crazy. We better see what he wants before he goes off."
That's about it. That's not a death warranting fucking.
Well, it's this what we were talking about yesterday too. Paul mentioned like when there's 5 guys standing around you with knives, and they throw you a knife, then all of a sudden no one wants to be the first one to get stabbed or slashed or whatever, and they kind of back off.
Who cares? Get back in jail, old man.
I mean, again, when I speak like that, I'm mostly speaking metaphysically in the sense of I'll avoid a violent physical interaction at all costs. I'm just saying it's an energy space. It's saying I'm taking on everything coming at me. It's a forward escape. You go past your fear into a flow space of saying there's no way out of this except through this, right? So that's the kind of attitude and energy that I think we have to bring to. It doesn't even have to be animated. It's just a surrender space. Right? Like I go in there and say, okay, well, I may go to prison or have my head cut off today, so I better make this good. Right? I better touch somebody's spirit. I better speak as if I'm an ambassador of God here. That makes sense.
We originally talked, it was a metaphor for artificial intelligence being in our hands. And I think it's going to be part of, gosh, what's our guest name here? Travis, am I right?
Yeah, Travis.
Okay, yeah. It might be part of your problem. You got 5 of these. You got this court. You got the prosecutor. All these guys. Everyone that's in that place against you, right? But there's something available to you. There's tools available to you that can make you a formidable opponent in their eyes. In which case, they might just decide to pass up, and this isn't the guy we want. Which is probably the outcome you're looking for, it seems to me. But I don't know. I'm just talking. You know, this is all fantasy play, right, Paul?
And that
Carlo was saying something.
Be careful, tribe. If you talk too much, he's going to leave.
that rap that you had, tribe, that's what you use if you're going to be Zoom, right? Not presenting in front of them.
That was a motion. If they were to deny you, that was a response to the motion. To a motion to get your in-person trial. So if they deny it, you would be able to respond with that, but you wouldn't necessarily have to respond with it in rhyme. You could respond with it in, whatever voice you want it to be.
Because I'm going to be at their physical location. It's not Zoom.
Oh,
I'm going. Yeah.
Well, it's worth thinking about here. I mean, the thing is, when did they get jurisdiction over you is my question.
That's kind of my question too. I mean, when I electronically signed,
I think Wizard would argue that. Did you put your postal address on there when you electronically signed?
I did not put it on myself. I did over the phone after a couple weeks when I called and told them I wouldn't be there. I gave them a correct postal address later on.
Oh, with your name. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that.
I mean, it's not necessarily. It's just one thing you just want to be aware of, that you don't want to try to argue that point, because that's what they're going to come back with, saying that was an appearance by you admitting, your postal address along with the case number and your name, according to principles of jurisprudence. So, I would stay away from that argument, but there's a ton of other arguments to go for. So the thing is, really boil it down to your best way of getting out of this thing in the best and most amicable way at this point, because of where you are. That's all I would say.
And my plan was, from what I know and comprehend, is I am going to go in there and not plead. I don't have a reason to plead to anything.
Are you sure you haven't already entered a plea?
Can you read the comments if I put them up? Are you willing to do that as a trustee? Limited
yes, sir.
trustee position?
Oh, jeez, I missed my favorite one. Niall, less rights and freedoms. More vegan and butt cookies. That has come with $2 of useless Federal Reserve fiat notes to convince us of that.
Completely useless. I can still get 4-ply. I can trade that in for 4-ply, which is a valuable resource in any time of trouble. Slaves will even kill each other and fight over it at the stores. I've seen it.
I was thinking about the old slave days, even like, say Roman times, a couple thousand years ago or so, when just common people would just generally be slaves just because. And even back then, if you wanted to say a sack of grain, a purely vegan product, but essential for life back then because meat was just totally a luxury, that would cost you an ounce of silver. And did you know that today, if you went to go get an sack of grain on the commodities market, it would cost the same as an ounce of silver is today? So when you talk about money and fiat and such, it's like, well, when you have something that can be so stable as a direct relation between food and money, it makes a lot more sense than some, what do you call them, green paper?
So I just want to be clear here. I'm going to pull something up here. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to pull up a picture, and I just wanted to kind of get in everybody's mind, and then you make of it what you will.
Cool.
So
it's creeping me out right now, Paul. You got to change that picture, please.
Well, the picture came up on your end?
No, whatever you have on the screen now is creeping me out.
Oh. Hold on here. What's the...
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God. That's the what do you call them?
Okay, so that is in fact,
that's fucking Jack Harlow.
No, that is in fact the Unabomber.
The Unabomber, right? I couldn't get. Yeah. Holy motherfucker.
Is that Kaczynski?
Well, that's
what they say, but that's the word on the, and again, I don't want to get into a little bit of a deep sort of conspiracy loop here, but they say amazing. Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, and I think you see where I'm going.
Oh, wow.
But the Unabomber's still there writing books in jail.
Aha. And now how do we do this every time, this game, where I do the single square, but it's not what I want it to be. So I must not know how to use this properly. Let's see here.
Oh no. Oh Lord.
That's that fucking picture. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's that. And then
side by side.
Wow. That's amazing.
I think you could do an overlay and it would probably line up too.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, but StreamYard is a fucking horrible platform. So
yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, and I pay for it like everything else.
Well, the old saying.
I still can't get what I need here. It shouldn't be this difficult. It should just kind of be solo layout and then overlay. But that's not how this works. Oh, I see. I have to put Jack in the first square. Is what it is. I have to move him to the first square. Because why should you just have the fucking option on the menu to be able to put that being next to the picture? Why would you be able to do that? That would be user friendly. We want to interfere with everything. So, all right, let's try this now. See if we can get it up there the way I want it. And again, these are with the Ray-Bans, so they're a little bit of a different glasses, but you can see where I'm going here.
Very similar.
The reflection's the same.
Wow. The size of the glasses on the face, the shape of the face, the mustache, everything.
Pretty standard. A man wearing.
Yeah, the triangular
the nose
feature.
Yeah, he's saying that it's not. It's pretty standard, but
Look
that's
at
what
the
someone
nose.
would say.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's what someone would say. Oh, that's a pretty standard look. Like, no, it's not. I've never seen anyone look like that. So
look at the nose. It's
you can say that. You can fucking say that, but it's not washing with me right now. And I'm a theorist, so I'm free to kind of theorize. And I didn't even really say anything. I'm just showing a
They
picture.
got the wrong guy, man.
Oh.
Kaczynski's in there writing books, and the fucking.
And this is what I'm saying. You got to be careful of these courts and systems, because a lot of this stuff, I don't think that it's accurate. Folks are not getting fair
they
trial.
didn't release him.
Folks still running around out here.
Hey, they might have released him with COVID. Who knows? They wouldn't have told us in the news. Do you think they would have told us, hey, we let the Unabomber out because of
No,
COVID?
they don't tell us anything, man. They're not telling us anything, and this is what I'm saying.
Unabomber was
one
a
of their
psyop.
clones.
Come on, you guys.
It's one of their clones, man. That's why he's the same age.
Definitely a clone.
No, they never want to clone Ted. He was too much of a disruptor. He was calling the shots like Paul does. They didn't like that at all.
Ted's the wrong guy. This is the guy.
You see, Ted said what it is right now. We have surrogate families and such. The government has supplanted the family. So people look to the government as the surrogate daddy and the surrogate, what to do in life and what to serve.
Bro, look at the cheek lines, the jawline, the nose, everything, the mustache, the lips. It's fucking perfect. That's Jack Harlow, bro. Wow.
Well, you said it. I didn't.
He's a clone. Now we figured it out.
The hoodie and everything, man. I don't know. Yeah.
Everything, man. Look at it.
Look at Lube's dumbass talking about fucking cholesterol. You don't know anything about cholesterol, man.
No, that's not true, sir. He took a cholesterol test and scored very high. He knows a lot about cholesterol. He didn't even study for it.
That's why his heart's over pumping right now.
Yeah.
His heart's pumping hard.
80 beats per second, boy.
That's high, fool, for resting heart rate.
Well, I'm excited right now. I'm excited right now because I just figured out who the Unabomber is.
Lou is so overweight that he's technically exercising while sitting still.
Paul figured out the Unabomber.
It doesn't work that hard to just be chilling, fool. And then when I work hard out, it only gets to like 80, 90, fucking working hard out. Fool. My heart doesn't work that hard to pump out as much energy as I need to. Well, your work overexerts itself to release that energy, and it stays pumping over hard. When you cool down, your heart's still pumping because it's being overworked, fool. You're dying.
All right, well, we're 20 minutes over. Let's wrap up because I got to take this laptop back, and I got to buy probably an expensive laptop. Hint, hint for all the contributors and supporters. Yeah, I'm going to dry grift a little bit, as Gimp says. I'm going to beg. So
later,
not really. Shut up, Lou. Send money to Lou. He needs it more than I do. He's in a horrible condition. All right, so don't send it to me. I don't really need it.
Something for you, actually.
Quiet, Lou. I'm addressing the good people out there.
Fucking ogre.
You keep quiet. Don't make me put you in the back.
Yeah, my oath still stands. All those police oaths, they break them all day.
Yes, Jack. Yes.
Terrorism. I'm stopping all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Oklahoma City bombing. I've been there. I've been to the memorial. It's so sad.
Oh, he's starting to confess. He's confessing.
They got blown up. All their little shoes in a box full. All those kids are gone, homie.
You were there?
You killed them, dude.
Were you there?
Stopped on the time of when the bomb blew up. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I seen all that shit. It's horrible. That's
you were there.
You were there.
My research.
I went to the Oklahoma City bombing
I've done
memorial.
It.
Yeah.
Turns out Jack Harlow is
actually
at
9/11?
a Unabomber.
You help him out?
Were you at 9/11? Jack Harlow?
This is conspiracy theory.
All the kids got blown up in United
Harlow,
States.
did you know Timothy McVeigh?
I don't know all the fucking dumbass people names. You know what I'm saying? Those are all dumbasses.
They were just his friends.
Too,
Harlow, where's my bowling?
I'm gonna just chalk you up. You
still haven't done a bowling for me. Where's the bowling?
You talking about my Marlin spikes?
No, I don't need you to do a Marlin spike knot. I just need to see you do a bowling.
That's Marlin Spike, you fucking idiot. You don't know anything about maritime.
Show me a Bolin, and then I'll believe you're in the Navy.
Fucking idiot. You're
saying it don't matter.
You're saying
show me a Bolin, and I'll believe you're in the Navy.
Spike.
It's not an easy knot.
There's only three options here for Jack Harlow. It's either Section 8, his grandfather was on the boat, or he's the Unabomber.
You know what?
That's it.
I couldn't care less what Jack Harlow was in or not in, because everybody's in slavery and genocide and doing little or nothing about it. So we can you know.
You guys don't deserve my fucking time up here at all. You're talking about the Bolin knot. That's Marlin Spike, you fucking pogue.
Yeah, show me. Yeah. Do you have a badge for that? Did you get a badge at the Girl Scouts? Did the Girl Scouts give you a badge for tying knots?
Doing that shit.
Yeah.
Jack Harlow, can you read the message?
Great stuff.
What's wrong with this?
Can you crochet too? Can you basket weave too?
Yeah.
While you're in the camp, you fucking slaves.
The chat.
Guys, come on.
Kevin says, "What's wrong with this dude?"
What about the masthead knot, fool? You don't know.
Did you ever shoot down a kamikaze?
It's really easy, actually.
Bolin knots. What about the
like a
bosun's
simple
pipe?
weave.
What about the bosun's pipe?
I told you I was a bosun's
about the
mate on a
bosun's
ship,
pipe,
bro.
though?
You think I don't know some knots?
Did you ever take bosun's
the
pipe?
Bosun's mate,
Can
bro.
You hear me? I'm yelling right
You ever
out the
take
fucking
bosun's pipe?
camera. Bosun's
Look,
pipe.
here, I'll show you the ship.
Bosun's pipe.
Learn how to use it.
Motherfucker, this guy's a
Bosun's
pro.
pipe.
Like, no maritime at all. You fucking, what is it? Merchant Marine little bitch. You know the military ranking system? You're a contractor.
Oh, Jeffrey's got
right
pictures.
there. Get
Pictures
down,
of a boat.
civilian.
That proves everything. Jeffrey has a picture of a boat, and that proves everything. Right there.
Civilian on that boat
He's
with
a cunt.
contract.
Holy
fool.
shit.
Nobody could possibly have a picture of a boat. So that proves everything.
Dumbass. I don't give a fuck about him. Go to China and get those Connex boxes and bring them over here on the
So those boxes from China, Paul.
Washington. That was the Lady Washington and the Hawaiian Chieftain. There are two boats I grew up on working as a sailor. Like,
yeah, you are a sailor.
It was period proper. There was no metal on the entire ship. It was all lashed together with knots, and I was bosun's mate on that ship. You can.
Are you a shellback?
What?
Are you a shellback?
No, I have my able-bodied Stevens card in the Merchant Marine, but I never worked as an able-bodied Stevens.
You're not a shellback, bro. Fall back.
You're not even a sailor until you've crossed the equator. You're not even.
Sit down, fool.
Bro. I called you out yesterday about the crossing the equator shit.
I'm a sailor.
I've been across the equator.
Bro, you're not a shellback, bro.
Of course I am.
Sit down,
not a shellback, bro.
I sailed from Santiago, from Valparaiso, Chile to San Francisco.
Yeah, you wish you were a shellback, weather boy.
You're getting whomped on.
Every sailor knows that. You're not a sailor.
You're getting fucking blomped on.
Where's my Bolin, bro? Show me a Bolin, and I'll believe you're a sailor.
You're getting lomped on.
Hey, you come up on the equator, I got him on the dateline, so essentially he sailed nowhere.
Lubeass, show me your blood work. Lubeass, show me your blood work.
Why is everyone all of a sudden? Why is everyone all of a sudden wearing sunglasses in the house?
Dumbass, look, you got to change the subject. Now I bumped on his dumbass hard, fool.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
everyone is all of a sudden very trendy. Sunglasses in the house.
Yeah, he's not a shellback. You better not ever talk to me about no bowling knots, no sailing shit, no maritime, nothing.
What year did you first go across the equator, bro? What year did you first cross the equator?
You don't have the authority to speak to a shellback.
What year did you first cross the equator? I guarantee I was a shellback before you were.
Sit down, fool.
I'm gonna chew you
out.
Sit down,
fool.
Bad on the ship. Bad on the ship. You don't know nothing about being a sailor, homeboy. Merchant Marine bitch.
Bro, you went on a you
know the military, the Navy ranks
you're a government worker on a boat.
Merchant Marine officers have to salute.
I was an actual sailor.
You know that, right?
This is what California looks and feels like, folks. If you're ever thinking about going there, this is what it looks and feels like. Everyone's wearing sunglasses. Everyone's fighting, gossiping, and arguing over shit that doesn't matter, and they're all a bunch of fucking slaves. So, yeah. Can we wrap up, please? See, now I'm getting ornery.
I'm gonna go.
Now I was being nice. I tried to be nice. It's very hard for me to try to be nice because I'm a prick. But I tried, and now it's not working. So now I'm reverting to what I know, right? Because I've gone through this too many times. It's out of hand now. I say wrap up, and we do another 45 minutes to 3 hours cycling.
I'll go first.
And I don't even have sunglasses, right? So I can't come to the party and not be prepared. I'll have to be ready later, and then we can reconvene. Tribe there now has his glasses. I just kind of feel left out. So, yeah, let's wrap up, folks. Final words, if you will. Questions, comments, concerns. I must get to Best Buy and find the bestest of buys for you, like Bane said.
All I heard for the last 20 minutes is my dick's bigger than yours.
Well, that's it. And then I come into the party and I throw my dong on the table, and then everyone just kind of shuts up. Right? Everyone wants to have a dick measuring contest. I'm bored of it. I got the biggest one at the party. I'll slap it right on the table. Now what? And then you folks go to saying, well, get real close to it. It looks bigger. The closer you get to it, the bigger it looks. Nah, I settled it already. I just slapped it on the table. That's the standard. What are we standing for? Truth, rights, and freedoms. Everything else is nonsense.
I pulled mine out. Everybody died laughing. I win.
That's it.
Well, you guys have a good afternoon. I hope you guys have some good lunch and have a good nap and have a great afternoon.
Later,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Peace, brother. Man, that's a clone, man, if I ever seen one. Motherfucker. You caught it, Paul.
His speech is definitely AI.
You caught it, Paul.
And the fact that he won't do a bowling for me is pretty suspect.
I didn't believe in clones till today, but I do now.
That's like how you prove you're a sailor by tying a bowline, and he's like, I'm not going to do that.
Shut up, Jeffrey, for once in your damn life.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go, Paul. I just was going to say, if anybody's interested in hearing the end of that story, the end was I got my guns back. I passed, the people saw it in the crowd. About 100 people all lost their guns. I gave the people the paper, the amnesty, and they were freaking out.
We get it, Lou. You didn't
and then they put me in jail.
You didn't lose your guns, and you didn't lose any weight either. All right, we got it.
They put me in jail for 10 days. They conspired and put me in jail for 10 days.
Jesus Christ,
because
they had
I
to
won.
feed you for 10 days. Imagine the tax bill after that. Imagine having to balance the budget.
They conspired with the duty council, they call it here. It's the public defender. Conspired with the judge because I pissed them off, because I got half of those people off of their charges and they got their guns back.
Commissioner came back and said, don't you ever take lubeass to one of our institutions ever again, because we got to feed him while he's there.
Too much damn money.
And we can't make it work. We can't balance the budget after the fact. So handle it all administratively out of court.
Anyways, thank you again, everybody, for the fun and games and all the laughs. And thank you, Paul, for letting me up. And see you guys later.
Absolutely, Lewis. I love you, sir.
Love you too, Paul.
Salute.
Thank God he's gone.
So, let me throw something in here. And I'll be done and make it brief here. I guess it comes down to I didn't really plan on talking about the whole vegan thing, but Paul brought me back into kind of where I was a long time ago when I was at strict vegan. And what it comes down to is that you have to say you want to do it, because everyone I hear says, oh, I tried, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good. When I eat meat, I feel good. It's all about feelings. But if you really want to sit there and look at the like you said, over 150, I have books that have gone over 150 years of studies through life insurance companies where they have, profit interest in getting these numbers right. And you could clearly see the relation between life expectancy, body weight, vegan diets. It goes across the board. Now, yeah, people slip once in a while, but that's just, there's always exceptions in life. But your road is basically to stay vegan. Yeah, if you're about to die, you're going to eat something, whatever's there. But aside from that, when you have the resources we have available to us. Now, that being said, it takes a lot of dedication, takes a lot of research, some knowledge of chemistry and such. You got to really know what you're doing if you want to.
You have to also, tribe. Here's the sacred feminine principle, right? That everything comes back to. You got to care. You have to care, like everything else. See, they'll say, "Oh, he's egoic. He doesn't love and care." You have no idea the level and depth of my love and care. I care for motherfuckers like they're my own children. I don't owe anybody anything yet. I give my all to everyone who is in need. Right?
Yeah.
Meat for the men, as they say, metaphysically, milk for the babes. So afflict the comfortable in their ignorance, comfort the afflicted in slavery. That's what this is all about.
Well, the secret of all this really in the vegan diet that people want to overlook, which takes that love and care, and it takes a good water resource, is to sprout your seeds. If you sprout seeds, you're going to end up with all the essential amino acids. You have all the enzymes you need, the micronutrients, the availability of all those minerals that Lou's so afraid of not getting from vegetables, because once you sprout them, you just, the miracles when you take this tiny little seed and add water, and it becomes a long plant full of nutrition. It's like, the vitamins increase hundreds of times. So it's
no. All those that hate me love death, the Christ of being said. There's no miracle and magic in that, just like conception with a child. Some goo comes out of your organ and turns into a being, and you can't see how magical and miraculous that is. There's a being standing before you now, some kind of, light, genetic material, barely even material that then turns into a whole living, breathing, thinking, functioning, inspiring, co-creative person with the law written in it and on it, right? So these folks don't see miracle and magic and mystery everywhere. They see mundane, ordinary routine, right? And they're lukewarm in their care. So it's easy for them to do atrocity because they believe absurdity.
And lastly, I'll say this is another thing back then that kept me on that track. Was I remember camping one time out in California, and there's a cow pasture nearby the campground there. But at night, you could hear the mother cows crying because they took the babies away, because of what they do there. And I mean, these are nice farms out there. They're not like factory farms, but just the whole concept of, they're taking that away for veal, or they need to milk the mother, and they're going to take that milk from the baby, and who knows, but the mother was
instead of focusing on what you just said, how miraculous creation is, they're going to go drag some being out, tie it up, hang it up, and then kill it quickly and say, well, that was humane, right? We chopped its head off, or we put a bullet in its head, so it died fairly quickly. That's humane. And I say, yeah, there's going to come a time where your masters of the state farm, the insurance company that you go to, they're going to drag you off because it's time to be not sheared anymore, but slaughtered, your soul taken, right? And they're going to treat you the same way. So as long as you don't mind that dynamic, then just keep doing it. Because, again, you're not the highest one on the food chain. You want to play the Darwinistic food chain game? Well, there's predators higher than you. And they're really good at setting traps and trapping slaves, like by the millions and billions, right? And then it comes time for harvesting season. So as long as you don't mind it being done to you and yours, then we have no beef. No, pun intended, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, and lastly, I'll say this. If you want to take a cold, calculated, scientific attitude, then look at what Jeff was referring to, the over, hundreds of years of statistical data that's been kept by meticulous, greedy people that look at every year as another year of profit to them. So these are very well-kept records that you could rather rely on because of the intent of the people that kept them. And you use those records to quickly see, however you slice and dice it statistically and advanced techniques, however you want to look at it, a clear pattern of cancer mathematics, vegan diet, low body weight. Well, that those things are what can be proven statistically, mathematically through meta studies. So anecdotal stuff, if I feel good because I did this or that, does not apply to the cold calculated science. If you want to talk science, throw all your emotion aside and let's just talk hard numbers, and let's see who will win that argument, because it's clearly on the vegan side. Clearly. On that note, guys, I think we summed it up there. Paul, thanks for bringing us back into light, because it's, I'm straight off the path. I'll be straightforward. I don't eat meat or anything like that. But, again, as Thomas is saying, he takes it in stride. But I have that guilty feeling anytime I do sway away, and it's better to be right on it. And I'll tell you what, when I was on that diet, I was a lot stronger and I felt better. So that being said, and I also raised my kid that way until family kind of said, hey, taste this. And then it's all over. But yeah, the early years, healthiest, I think you don't need to have kids on meat. That's ridiculous nonsense. That's one person's opinion. And I'll give you my fact of firsthand knowledge that that's wrong. So maybe mine's a one-off, but at least I'm giving you firsthand knowledge, not an opinion, because I did it. On that note, guys, thanks again and salute.
Thanks, tribe.
Thank you, sir.
I'll go next. Get out of here. If you don't mind, Paul, I'd like to ask you a question. It's been at least a couple months ago, you mentioned a website that has some paperwork on it, and I've got that paperwork and an appointment to go fill all that stuff out correctly next week. You still agree that that's a route I should be getting onto?
I never told anybody what they should and shouldn't do because I don't give advice.
Right.
I told you and everyone else that there exists certain platforms that describe an understanding that you might find valuable if you understand it and can apply it. There is no magic pill and magic bullet here. There is no set of circumstances and paperwork that's going to get you out of this. It didn't get you into this. It's not going to get you out of this. That's only one piece of it. You did all the paperwork. You self-identified as a slave, and then you acted like one. See? Actions speak louder than words, oftentimes. You walk, talk, act, and live like a slave. Your paperwork's not going to matter, whether it says you're a slave or not. You walk, talk, act, and live like an honor-able man, a servant to the Most High. It doesn't really much matter what the paperwork says, slave or not. So again, it's not cart before the horse. You're doing this, you're living this, you're being this, you see the value in this, and then you put that on paper. Hey, here's who and what I am and what I'm not, and here's how I live. If anyone's going to rebut this, come forth. If not, it shall continue. And you just threatening to do harm to me is not going to subvert my understanding, my perspective, my conscience, and my reality. This is not that, complicated. It doesn't have to be. You just have to understand who and what you are and what you're not. So when they go to asking you something, you don't say you're something that you don't want to be classified as. And then if they're going to come do harm to you, they're going to do it either way. So we live in faith rather than fear. The only other option is to comply and be a slave.
Well, I appreciate you letting me up here. Maybe I'll try to make it up again tonight if you don't mind, and thank you.
Absolutely, sir. I'm here for the truth and therefore you, if you're willing to seek it and walk it and talk it and live it. And again, that's all under the heading of as I perceive it. I can't claim to be anything other than a quote unquote man on the land, making connections, living by what I'm speaking and communicating it to others. So thank you, sir. What was your name again?
Travis.
Thank you, Travis. I look forward to seeing you later.
Later, everyone.
All right.
Well, I guess we're gonna get out of here too. You have anything to say, Allie?
Oh, no, not really. I didn't really get to say much, but it was fun.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Probably see you later on.
All right, Jeffrey, Allie. Look forward to seeing you folks later.
All right, Paul, once again, it was an awesome broadcast. It took you a minute to get fired up, but once you got fired up, you were spitting out the truth as once and always. I love everybody here and hope to see us all back again. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Larry. We love you. We always appreciate seeing you here, regardless, but always a pleasure to see you in bright, happy circumstance, so to speak. So with that, I'm off to take this piece of garbage back and get something with some more RAM, some more memory, some more everything. Might even have to drop a G on it. I have to drop close to a G on this fucking laptop because then we can settle it. I'm tired of not knowing here. Is it the connection? Is it the hardware? So if I drop a G on a laptop and then it doesn't fucking work still with the hardwire and everything else, well, then I just take that motherfucker back too. But if it works great, then, we just eat it. We invest back in ourselves and we move forward. It's for a good cause. I mean, hey, we're living it here at this point. So why not? We spend so much on bullshit. Why not invest back in ourselves and what we're creating if we really, quote unquote, believe in it or know it to be valuable, which of course I do. So Yeah, peace and blessings, folks. Continue to co-create an inspired sense. Higher level of consciousness is what they call it. To me, it's just common sense. It's called conscience. We do what's true and what's right because it feels better than complying with slavery or actively doing wrong. Evil is lived backward, right? EVILLIVE. Right? If you're not living with the flow of creation, then you're living backward. You must be evil. All right, let me get up out of here. I'm gonna let you folks go. Always a pleasure. Peace and blessings. Thank you to the folks who continue to contribute and support. You allow me to run my mouth from a trailer and continue to make a living while doing it. So salute to you as well. All right, I'm out of here. I shall return. Until then, farewell.